tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to
Rock.
join me as always, Xavier Guerrero, and everyone loves him, Jay Nice, Johnny Woodard. How are you guys?
What's up, man?
Big
Good show.
show. Big
Do it.
show. Bang. All-time banger alert. All-time banger alert.
It's not often
talk
we have
about-
somebody who's on Mount Crushmore on the show, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of crazy, dude, that he came on again and knocked it out of the park. It's everything I like. We had Santos Bonacci on today, and it was, it was an all-time great episode, in my humble opinion, because he talked about everything I love, Black nobility, spirituality, all that stuff. It was a really great episode. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know we enjoyed doing it. Guys, I'm going to be live this weekend. I'm going to be in Michigan, okay, for 2 shows. Then I'm going to be, guess what? Going to be in Holland on the go up on the 26th. And then on the 27th, 28th, I am in Grand Rapids the following weekend. 3 nights, 3 cities in Ohio. We're going June 2nd, Columbus, June 3rd, Cleveland, and June 4th, Dayton, returning to the scene of crime. And then June 9th, Tinfoil Hat Comedy is back live in San Diego. And guess who's coming? Heavy hitter Jay Nice, Johnny Woodard will be joining us. So get your tickets now, especially you conspiracy smoke shows. Come get weird. Guys, go to samtripoli.com for all of your Sam Tripoli tinfoil hat needs. We have latest shows, my dates, my premium content. You click it. You can grab your t-shirts on that. Just click it. The Telegram is there. I'm about to put my cameos because I've been crushing Cameo, bro. You want a cameo? You want to hear about the lizard people? You want me to impress your girlfriend and tell them how knowledgeable you are about the Black nobility? Hit me up on Cameo. All those will be there. And then if you go down, if you need more free audio, Daddy's got you taken care of. You just got to go to samtripoli.com, click on one of the banner of my 7 free audio shows. Tinfoil Hat, Broken Sim. We're about to record one of those tomorrow night. And let me tell you, it's getting weird in LA. It's my show. I walk around Los Angeles looking for danger, okay? For your entertainment. Cash Daddies, Punch Drunk, Conspiracy Social Club. And then You Know the Unwanted, Conspiracy Social Club, and Zero, all there for free for your viewing, your listening pleasure, okay? Anything else, guys?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
What?
Nothing. Go get your tickets at George P Comedy. I got a show doing Saturday this in San Diego. So go get your tickets. Come on, Swarm, pull it up. I know there's a lot of you guys out there in San Diego. Let's go.
When is the show?
This Saturday, May
out after
21st.
Yeah.
Oh, never
This
mind.
comes after that. All right. Well, go get a time machine, go back in time,
Yes.
and go check out Crush Fest with Xavier Guerrero. Anything else, Johnny?
Nah, Broken Sim, check it out. We're going to record one tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. It's coming. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be coming out. When you're hearing this, Broken Sim will just be dropping. That's why I said that.
All right. Check it out. Broken Sim with Sam Tripoli and Jay Nice, Johnny Woodard. Enjoy the show.
Go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the...
All right, guys, let's get into it. The man is back. He was on the show one time, and he made the Mount Crushmore of Tinfoil Hat, and he's back with a follow-up. Maybe he'll become the whole mountain. Please welcome one of the best to do it. Very excited I'm back on. Santos Bonacci. How are you, Santos?
Very, very well. Thank you. Thanks for the great compliments and Thank you for the team you're working with to put this on. I appreciate you having me on, brother, because I know you have a lot of great people there that you interview. I see some of your great work lately, and yeah, I'm pretty honored. So thank you for having me on again. In fact, the show we did, I put that on my channel, and I've got about 130,000 hits on that. And if you scroll down in the comments, you'll see that it's probably one of my most appreciated and loved interviews.
Well, that means a lot to us, man. And you know, we celebrated our 500th episode, I think last year or early this year, and we had people vote for who were the top 4, and you made the top 4 with only one appearance, which was truly amazing to show how like powerful your appearance was. So that means a lot to us, and we know you're doing a lot of great work on there. And I know since we last talked, which I think was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, you've moved, you've been on the go. What's been going on with you?
Yeah, that was February. I think it was the 17th of Feb 2020, just before March 20, which was that fateful day. So I was set to fly to Mexico 3 days after that show with you guys there, and for a presentation and a visa run. It was my second visa run. I had a 2-year ESTA visa to visit the States, but every 90 days you have to leave, come back, leave, come back. First time I went to Costa Rica and Nicaragua, and back through Miami, Texas, and then on back to Oregon. And from Oregon, I went down to Los Angeles, did that show with you guys and with Killer Priest, and a presentation, which was a real hit. You know, a good 100 people turned up, Syncretists from Los Angeles. And then I went to Mexico. I was thinking, you know, I'll stay there 3 weeks. I did a presentation in the city. And then a guy there invited me to go to another place, Tepoztlan, in the mountains where there are pyramids just south of Mexico. I did a presentation there, loved it. And then I went back to Mexico City, ready to fly back to Oregon. And instead, a good friend, a syncretist from Mexico, said, why don't you come down to Oaxaca? I'm down here. It's full of your kind of people, you know, yoga retreats everywhere, entheogens, ayahuasca, we can do everything, you know, all kinds of tepescohuite, which is the natural DMT that they have here, of which I've got a good little sample there. This is natural DMT, tepescohuite.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
So, yeah, you know, and so I thought, yeah, I'll go and do some healing. I needed some healing. I was pretty haggard from all the presentations I'd done, Miami, Oregon, Sacramento, San Francisco, Montague, right near Mount Shasta. I did all these presentations and I was haggard. And so I went down there, and after a week, March 20 hit. So I got stuck in one of the most beautiful places in the world, Oaxaca, my favorite state in Mexico. Of the 32, get this, United States of Mexico. How many people know? Look at this. How many people know? Have a look at my license here. I've got a Mexican license. What does it say on the top there?
Estados Unidos Mexicanos.
Estados Unidos Mexicanos. That's the United States of Mexico, guys. 32.
Pretty weird. Yeah.
The very Masonic number.
That is very weird. That's very, and like, you know, if you get into eagle versus serpent, you know, how many flags, how many government logos involve the eagle. Mexico's got very much an eagle in their flag. So yeah, man. Super interesting.
Well, let me tell you this. Every time I see the Mexican flag, I see the Italian flag, because it's exactly the same, minus the Roman eagle. The Rome, which runs Mexico, in fact, Mexico is the center, Mesoamerica, it's the center of the Americas. This is where the Jesuits came, installed their Inquisition. Mexico had a violent, vicious Inquisition. So did Paraguay. The Jesuits were real nasty down there as well. But they're telling you in your face, if you know what you're looking for, Rome is in the middle of the Americas. It's all a Roman corporation. And they've got the eagle, the Roman eagle, right in the middle of the green, red, and white, exactly the same as the Italian flag, which comes from the Persian flag, which is horizontally green, white, and red, because the Roman elite families, the Farneses in particular, the Orsini, the Pallavicinis, Aldobrandinis, they're all from Persian. They're all Iranians. Italy is partially Iranian. I look Iranian. You know, I had lots of Iranian friends in Melbourne, and I learned how to speak Farsi and write the Arabic language with them. And I look just like them. They said, we look like the same race. So all of that strip, that Indo-European or Indo-Iranian strip, all the way through Arabia, all of it is this olive-skinned people, all the way to the Mediterranean, man. So from Persia to Italy to the Americas, the Persians, Iran is still behind the Vatican. Iran is the source of this Babylonian system.
Super interesting, because then we get into some, Khazarian talk, and then we get into how far back we go with Khazarians. There's some Turkish in there. That's a big reason why Israel doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide. I remember when I clicked that, and it's like it goes farther and farther back. And I did not know that about Persia. I did not know Xavier Guerrero here is Persian. I didn't know that. That's super interesting, man.
Guys, we've seen so many people making ridiculous money from crypto. But did you know that it's easy for you to do the same? The Copy My Crypto membership site shows you the coins that YouTuber James McMahon personally holds and allows you to copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You simply do what he does. So let me tell you about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which despite heavy censorship has over 17,000 subscribers and 1 million views. Since March 2020, he's told his viewers to buy 26 crypto coins. Had you put $100 into each one, it would now be worth more than $53,000. Of the 26 coins, his top pick of the year, a coin called Phantom, is currently up over 440 times from when he named it. That one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify it yourself. So if you'd like to join the 1,300 members who copy James, then stop what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/TFH. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said here, but our listeners can get full access for just $1. You won't find this offer anywhere else, but act fast because it ends soon. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. That's TFH. Don't take this offer lightly. James is the real deal. Go visit the site now.
If you know your history well, you'll know that the Greeks were fighting the Persians for hundreds of years. In fact, the Greeks went in when they sacked Athens and they demolished all the ancient, beautiful. This is 500-600 years BC, not AD. So this is like 2,500 years ago. If we go by conventional history, which I don't, but let's go down that path. Let's be conventional and follow their line. Basically, it's Roman and Greek history that we're under and taught under that timeline. Anyway, the Greeks were fighting the Persians. Marathon and all of those wars, that was against the Persians. And the Persians had the Phoenicians, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, they had the Turks, they had everybody on their side. warships all through the Mediterranean, and the Greeks still defeated them. Then the Romans came along, and the Romans were fighting the Persians. In fact, many Roman emperors died fighting the Persians. And the last one that I recall was my favorite emperor and the only syncretist, Neoplatonist emperor that Rome ever had. Julian the Emperor, or Julian the Apostate. You see, we don't like these pagan emperors. He was the nephew of Constantine, and Constantine set up corporate Christianity, monotheism. 40 years later, Julian, one of his relatives, totally undid that Christian dominating system and brought back syncretism, Neoplatonism, and it lasted for 2 years. And then he died in 363. Interesting, because I was born in 1963. He died in 363 fighting the Parthians, who were called Persians. They were the Parthians, even the Elamites. They had different names, but at this stage it was the Parthians. He was the last emperor who died, but they say that he was shot by one of the Christian soldiers because it was an assassination by Rome, that they want to bring Rome back to the corporate Christian historical erroneous structure of governing the world. And so that is at least 900 years of Greeks fighting the Persians, Romans fighting the Persians. You'll find that there were hundreds of wars against the Parthians by the Romans. And still today, who's the number one enemy in the world? We've got to get, Barack Obama was talking about, we've got to,
Yes.
Iran.
Yes.
It's Iran. Iran is unless we get Iran, and even Israel says this, everyone wants to get Iran. We've got to get them. Why is that?
It's super interesting.
I mean, I know why.
Well, okay, because of this ancient war forever. Is that it?
Well, it's because they pull the strings. See, Rome doesn't want any shackles. See, the Farnese family, they set up the Tuscan Empire, they set up Rome. They are behind all of Italy's domination of the world, the Roman Empire. And then the Orsini and the Medicis, and especially the Pallavicini and Aldobrandini. These are Persian names. Dude. They're all Persians. And they went to Rome because that was strategic. And then Rome went to Holland in the days of Orange, the Kingdom of Orange. And then from there, William the Conqueror, I think it was, went to England. And then now the city of London runs the show. And then they brought that to DC, the District of Columbia, or District of Criminals. And so from Iran, they pull the ultimate strings. Now, Rome and London and DC, the three city-states of the empire, they don't want those strings anymore because they have got technology which channels the egregores, or the demons, if you like, the gods, which are the interlopers on this earth, which are the archons. They have the technology that contains their, their place in the cosmos, and Rome wants it. They want it, and they want to bring it to Jerusalem. So that's why Iran is the enemy.
That's incredible, man.
Yep.
This is everything I love to talk about all in one show. This is my favorite thing. So you're saying that So a long time ago, right? Alex Jones got in trouble for trying to say, and this is my question. I'll get into what the question is, that Muslims are running the Fed. And he got a lot of blowback for that. And people are like, because everyone thinks that Alex Jones has a real blind spot for Israel because his girlfriend's Jewish. He doesn't want to get yelled at, doesn't want to have to sleep on the couch, right? So he doesn't get into that. But if what you're telling me, this pieces start to come together, my only question to you is this: does what you're talking about supersede all of these organized religions which have connections to the royal families, like Islam? We talk about the Islam that is practiced today has connections to Muhammad, who is a relative of Queen Elizabeth, and it gets into all these, thespians in this haunted house that we live in and how they're all related and all that stuff. But when is the Persia that we're talking about, is this an Islam thing, or does this go beyond that? Or is that an older version of Islam that, that it supersedes what we understand?
Beautiful. You got all that correct. 100% correct. This all supersedes or transcends what we see in the monotheistic world of is the Trinity: Islam, Christianity, Judaism. Okay, see, Alex Jones is a smart cookie. He speaks more truth than most people do, and he's very, very, very smart. So notice how he always talks about the internationalists and the globalists, because that's exactly who they are. You see, See, there's people who are saying, "Oh, Islam runs the Vatican; they're all Muslims," and then there's those who say the Masons did in *62 at the Second Vatican Council. It's all Freemasonic. Then there's those who say, "Oh, it's the Jews. The Jews are running the Vatican." It's you see the Pope kissing the feet of the Rothschilds. You see all this. They're all right, and yet they're all wrong. Islam, Judaism, Christianity, from the point of view of the elite, is all one thing. It's all one demon. It's all one contractual egregore which they have created. Mm-hmm. So they are not, they say, the Pope says he's Christian. Of course he has to, that he's Christian, right? He's a Freemason, he's a Muslim, he's a Jew, he's all of those things, because those families run all those corporations. I'll tell you who runs Islam. A Roman elite family called Pallavicini. You go to your browser right now, all the listeners, and punch in Pallavicini Islam and ask the question, who runs Islam? And there you will see millions of videos and articles showing you all the princes of the Pallavicini family dressed as imams going to Muslim country and teaching all of their highest priests. The Pallavicini family are teaching them. They run them.
Yeah.
Who runs the Christians? The Rothschilds run the Christians. Who run the Rosicrucians? The Orsini family. I can tell you how, just by tracing the roots of the names of the meaning. For instance, Pallavicini, Palla is palace or Allah. Pallas Athena. It's Apollo, Saturn. But they say Allah, the Romans and the Greeks, Apollo. Allah, when they say Pallavicini, well, vicini, you already know that word. Vicinity, close to. Vicino, here in Mexico, vecino, close by. So if you are close to Allah, and that's your surname, Pallavicini. So this is the family that is the close ones to Allah. They're telling you in your face. Aldo Brandini is Aldebaran, the star, the red star in Orion, the 7 stars of Orion, the red one, Aldebaran. That is the star of the Persians, Aldo Brandini, Aldebarans. And so the source of all this is Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism. It's the original syncretism, true religion of the world. Not that all the others aren't. Christianity is the true religion. Judaism is the true religion. Islam is the true religion. I've proven this and shown how this is true in every comprehensive and exhaustive possible way. They are all the same thing. And they are all based on science. It's spiritual science. It's speaking about the world of electromagnetism. Everything is atomic waves, torus fields. Every atom in your body is a miniature sun, as above, so below. Fractally self-similar from the microcosm through the mesocosm to the macrocosm. Everything is suns. We are in the image of the sun. We are the sons of God. Because the sun is what imprints into us our soul. We come from the sun. The sun is the savior. It's a portal. It's a wormhole. The early Christians used to be called heliognostics. Well, why would they need to know about Helios, the sun? And the Therapeutae and the Essenes would bow with their palms outstretched to the morning sun and kiss the sun every morning religiously, because it is the source of our food. There are breatharians and solitarians existing today that don't need to eat this gross food, apples and spinach and nuts and seeds. That's because we have fallen. And in poetic terms, in scripture, that means we have turned aside from God. We do not have faith in God. We do not have trust in God. If we had trust in the Son, God, we would live from the sun's vitality, period. We wouldn't need to go to Coles and Safeway to get our groceries that are sprayed with glyphosate and pesticides and herbicides. We wouldn't need to be getting sick because the sun is Helios, the healer, electromagnetically, because it's sending electromagnetic pulses, which then hit your cells, your DNA, and pulsate at the same rate as the sun. It's a heart. It's a heartbeat.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our friends at Factor. Okay, as the weather gets warmer, Factor can help you spend less time at home in the kitchen and more time enjoying the springtime with no cooking, grocery shopping, or dishes. Plus, the perfect health conscious grab and go add-ons like smoothies and juices. Luckily, I don't have to meal plan or prep, and I can still eat well now that I leave my meals to Factor. Factor makes it easy to eat clean 24/7 with fresh, never frozen, prepared meals that are so delicious you wouldn't believe they're actually good. Feel good for the summer. Choose Factor Calorie Smart Keto options with built-in portion control as a great tool to help you get fit for the summer. Factor now offers 30 meals per week where you can choose from a variety of new meals every week. On top of that, Factor gives you the option to change it up. Select any plan you want. 4 to 18 meals per week. Busy schedule for both lunch and dinner. No worries. Add an extra 2 or 3 or even 4 meals to your order. Factor saves me time by delivering chef-crafted meals to my doorstep, eliminating the hassle of grocery shopping and meal prep. Not to mention cleanup. No dishes to wash here. That's a big thing for you, right, Xavier? You love that stuff. You've been doing that.
Of course I have. I have to, dude. I'm single.
Yeah, you are single and you're ready to mingle. Each Factor meal arrives pre-prepped and ready to eat in 2 minutes. That's even faster than ordering it. It's all true, guys. When I had my babies, I was rocking Factor all the time. And guess what? I lost weight. I lost weight because I was eating well-portioned meals, and I love it. Okay. Factor tackles in tough stuff, so I don't have to. They registered dietitians and expert chefs work hand in hand to create meals with nutritional ingredients. Okay. Factor even knows my preferences. They offer vegan plus veggie meals, keto meals, low carb options, cold pressed juices, smoothies, energy bits, bites, plant-based bars, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep me fueled and focused all day. So here's what I need you to do.
Head to go.factor75.com/tinfoil120 and use code tinfoil120 to get $120 off. That's code tinfoil120 at go.factor75.com/tinfoil120 for $120 off.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our friends at First Leaf. Listen, if you love wine, you're a wine connoisseur. Sometimes you feel like you got to get a degree in grapes to find great wine. I guess you can shop by label, I guess, okay? Or you can try to remember what tannins is. I can't even pronounce that, okay? Shouldn't it be easier? That's why First Leaf does the hard work for you. They make it simple to discover new wines you'll love without the hit or the miss. First Leaf samples over 10,000 wines a year from around the world and selects only the finest bottles. They take time to learn what you like and what you don't, then send you world-class wines tailored to your taste. Okay, the guys on the show, their ladies love wine. They love this. They love First Leaf, okay? They love the whole process. Plus, they look good for their fake girlfriends, okay? And if you're not happy with the wine you receive, First Leaf will credit you for another. It doesn't get any simpler than that. It's easy wine for you wine connoisseurs, okay? And if you're not happy, dude, they'll take care of you, okay? They'll credit you. That's how good it is. So here's what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to sign up today, and you'll get your first 6 bottles for $29.95 plus shipping. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/tinfoil. That's tryfirstleaf.com/tinfoil to get your first 6 bottles for $29.95 plus free shipping. Tryfirstleaf.com/tinfoil. I think it's so interesting because we get into why they're after Persia. Why are they after Russia? What does Russia represent? Is there something about Russia? Is there an understanding of Tataria and what Tataria represented at one point? And was Tataria the center of an empire that this new group is trying to push down and push back on? And it all makes sense to me, man. It just does. It's like, I can never know 100% what is real and what is not real. I can only digest information and data. And I go, does these pieces that I'm getting right now, do these fit into the puzzle really simply? I mean, are they just clicking in, or am I trying to smash them in to make them fit? And when they just click in real easy, where it all starts to line up and make sense to me, that's where it is. You have to have a real understanding of hidden history and how much they've been hiding from us, and how much, like we say on the show all the time, everything you need to save yourself is inside you. You just have to look inside and start having faith in that you are a very complex instrument of God, and you have everything you need. And that is my humble opinion. And so all this is clicking with me. Black nobility, sounds like we're talking a lot of black nobility right now. The true essence of power, in my humble opinion. I've always thought that Jews were second, just middle managers made to be boogeymen because they were a small group of people. And that when you really take a look at all the people that are that they think are running the world, they wear these masks like Judaism, Islam, Christianity, so they can walk amongst us. Because if they really let us know what they believe, I would like to believe that we would chase them down and not put up with it. But they wear these masks and then they run these psyops on us. So we can't talk about this. We can't talk about that. We can't, creating these illusions to get us to control our conversations. And because the truth is, for lack of a better term, it's all cult. And for me, it's like deep cult. And based on the conversation we've had so far, that really is a spiritual war right now that we're in. But people don't understand who they're fighting right now. They're looking here. They're looking here. They're not looking here.
That's because, as it says in Ephesians chapter 6 in the Bible, verse 12, it says, "For we have a spiritual war, and you must put on the complete suit of armor from God, your helmet of salvation, your breastplate of faith, your shield of righteousness, your feet shod with integrity, your sword," and all of this armament. We have to be armed against. It's a spiritual war. See, you can never understand it if you're talking geopolitics with conventional people. There'll be people saying, "Oh, Putin made a great move by taking out all the biolabs, and yeah, that was good," and they'll tell you what their opinions from a very, very conventional viewpoint, very conditioned, very subjective. Unless you understand that there are spiritual entities that control everything, then you'll never understand the chessboard that this human experience plane that we live on will never understand anything. We'll always take sides. And then years later we'll find out, oh, we got the wrong side. Like, remember 9/11? Wow, we were thinking, geez, yeah, those guys are terrorists, those Arabs. Yeah, they look like it, don't they? Yeah, they got beards. Yeah. That's what it says in the newspaper, right? The bearded, they look like terrorists. And then years later, documentaries started coming out. And then we realized, well, wasn't I a fool, thinking bad things about, all these people in Iraq that we've invaded and all these things. And what a revelation that was, so it's a spiritual war. And we're looking at the shadow of that war. We're experiencing the shadow of it. It's happening in heaven. And it's going to be won by ultimate righteousness and truth. Truth always prevails. Truth is the first principle. If you come to me talking about love and light and peace and harmony, I'm not at all interested in what you've got to say. Ears plugged, unless you put truth high above all of them, because all of them are attributes of truth. You cannot have love without truth. You can have truth without love. I can tell you the truth without love, but I can't love you without truth. Everything depends on truth, and truth will prevail. Simple. Falsehood cannot prevail. It doesn't in court unless the judge is corrupt and the prosecution. It doesn't prevail in every other situation. Morally, you can't tell a lie and then have a good night's sleep after you've told a massive lie to someone who trusts you. You're going to be going, oh, yeah. You'd be feeling rotten for days, possibly years. Truth prevails because truth is light, and the lie is darkness. If you want to look at it that way, someone gave me a nice nice chocolate.
Enjoy that, bro. You've earned it.
Yeah, chocolate vegan ice cream. It's all vegan. It's all, oh man, this best ice cream. I get one every day. So
you enjoy. Hey, dude, you've earned it, bro. You've earned it. So for me, man, everything you're talking about prevails. This show, you always say the same thing. Yeah, well, you do a lot of episodes. You're going to talk about a lot of stuff. But for me, it's like this show will end the day I don't believe that truth will prevail. I will no longer do this show. There will be the end of the show. And I'll be like, I think it's doom and gloom. It's all done. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to stay with my family, enjoy until the end. But I know there are these laws of nature and these laws of the universe and these people like Klaus Schwab and all these other people. I don't care how high you get up to this guy that you just told us about, this Paulini guy who looks just like Eddie Bravo, by the way. If you look into him, he looks exactly like Eddie Bravo, just with a... go look him up. You're like, is that Eddie Bravo? Is that Jiu-Jitsu Jesus right there? But
Which guy?
The guy you said runs in Islam, Yahane Pallavicini looks exactly like Eddie Bravo. But that they are not above the universe. They are players within the universe. The universe is bigger, and they will someday take their final breath and have to deal with the consequences of their actions. That is how the universe works, in my humble opinion. So everything that you're saying rings true. And, you brought up judges. Well, maybe judges will corrupt the process. That does happen. But that, to me, that means the process is still going and that the inevitable is coming. And the inevitable is that judge, maybe his family, whatever, will feel the consequences of being on the wrong side of darkness. Darkness does happen. Bad things happen to good people, but everything is a journey that you're on. And that's a very complex place to get to. It takes a lot to get into understanding that pain and suffering, that sometimes there's a purpose behind it. And it's really hard to understand. But the discussion we're having right now really opens my eyes that there is wonderful stuff in the future and that this is a spiritual war. You just have to understand when you're talking about taking in the light and the sun, I'm very much about what are you consuming, not just with your mouth and your eyes, but your ears. What are you taking in? Are you taking in garbage? Are you watching reality television that teaches you nothing, that just installs this bad behavior in you so you do monkey see, monkey do? Or are you trying to digest the sun? Live with one and with the universe and God. That to me is the future, that there's so much on this physical plane that we can get into. What is the nature of this physical world, in your humble opinion?
It's electromagnetic. So in the Bible, it says God is light. And then another passage says God is love. And then in other words, not directly, it says God is truth. Now, all those things are true, but when it says God is light, light is electromagnetic pulses and waves. It's a pulse wave universe. There are no particles. They don't exist.
Oh,
They are pulses. The pulses are magnetic, and the transverse waves are electrical, red shift, blue shift. They're color. That's where color begins, because white light is a longitudinal wave. It's magnetic. Magnetism is white light. All colored light is electrical. That's why they call that the electromagnetic spectrum, because the pulse generating the wave, the transverse wave, pulsates longitudinally and suffers no decay. Whereas the transverse wave, from the moment of its inception, begins to decay. It's inferior. So electricity is a hybrid force which creates wave amplitude, wavelength, hence time and space. Time, wavelength, space, wave amplitude. That's the electrical world of the God El. But the true God is magnetism. And that's a pulse. It's a digital pulse. And everything is pulsating. I'm pulsating right now, only you can't. You see me linearly because your eyes can only take 24 screens a second. So if this was taking more, the human eye, you would see me flash on and off, and everything at the same time, the whole everything, and you would see that, you would see nothing, and then a pulse of everything, and then a pulse of nothing, pulse everything. That's it, and that's how your heart works. You see, your heart radiates. Radiation is magnetism. Vibration is electricity. Vibration is inferior. It's the serpent in the Garden of Eden. It has the same root as the word serpent, vibora in Latin, vibración, vibration. Vibration is the serpent that deceiveth the whole world, whereas the digital magnetic pulse, that's the heartbeat of God. That is the world from which we come. That's counter space. It's counter spatial. It's not spatial. Electricity is spatial.
So one of the laws of
am I right? Am I right to
dude, light it up. Have a good time.
Okay.
If you smell hard enough, you can probably smell Xavier Guerrero. He's probably high as fuck right now. So
No, I'm good right now.
You're not? You are?
No,
man.
Not till later today. I'm clean. I had to fucking be sober, but I might just join him in a little bit.
Do it, dude. Light it up. Everybody smoke him if you got him. Johnny's got his leather jacket on, so we all got to get cool.
It's not leather.
Okay, respect. So I've been getting into the Hermetic principles of the universe. And one of them is like everything is constantly in motion, everything is vibrating, and like which gets into high frequency, low frequency, meeting high frequency human beings, lower frequency human beings. This glass, lower frequency, it is moving, it is vibrating, it is, but it's at a much denser, thus creating this glass, right? And these energy waves at a higher level. These are higher entities, people, and there are people there are things vibrating on an even higher level than we can comprehend with our eyes, and that's the higher frequencies, right? Am I wrong on that?
Perfect, spot on. So, as you raise your frequency and purify your soul, when your body is exhausted and decays to the point where your spirit leaves, that resonant frequency of yours goes to a realm suited to that frequency. So if you're a beautiful person, you will go to a place where there are beautiful people. If you are a nasty mofo and you've harmed many people, you bring that frequency when your body ceases. You bring that. And that's why there's all these planes. There's hell, purgatory, limbo, and there's all the levels of heaven. There are many places we can go to. Many places. So you mentioned Hermeticism. My academy, our academy, the Syncretism Academy we have here in Mexico. Syncretism is based on Hermeticism and Neoplatonism, the two best schools the West, Egypt, Europe has ever produced, and they are based on that. This morning, I just posted on my YouTube community page and on Facebook one of the best videos you will ever hear, summing up Hermeticism in 2 hours, putting syncretism in a nutshell and Neoplatonism, and everything you want to know and need to know. Everything is in this video, and this is the name of the video. So you go to YouTube and punch in the Hermetica hyphen the lost wisdom of the pharaohs. Ooh. Blow your mind. It is, I would listen to it at least 20 times.
We're all looking it up, man.
Yeah, that's for the listeners, because I tell you, the wisdom that we have see, people from the West go over to India. Oh, we have to go to the East. We have to go to Peru to get enlightened. Europe is not, God didn't make Europe. There's no spirit there. rest assured, the most elaborate of all the schools, the mystery schools of wisdom and spiritual theology, come from the West. Hermeticism and Neoplatonism. I would also add Kabbalah, the Jewish system, and the Islamic Sufi, but Christian Gnosticism, Sufism, and Kabbalistic Jewish mysticism, they are the best elaborate schools that exist. But I would always put Neoplatonism on top because they really made everything clear, logical, rational, easy to understand, exhaustive, comprehensive, and everything is much more detailed. It's the most detailed school of spiritual wisdom that exists. And that's what we've done by opening the first Syncretism Academy for 1,500 years. When Justinian, the emperor, in 527, the most evil of emperors, closed down by edict the Syncretism schools of the Mediterranean, of the Roman Empire. The Neoplatonic schools were shut down by edict by Justinian, the same guy who created legalese, dog Latin, the corporate person, the straw man. Now, that guy, he lived 200 years after Julian, the one I mentioned before, who brought Rome back to syncretism, and the Neoplatonism flourished.
How long did he live? Excuse me, how long did he live?
Well, he only reigned for 3 years. They killed him. They got rid of him real quick because that's what Rome wanted. That Romans they didn't want this. See, the Christianity that Constantine created was the same model that exists today. And that is, they paid all of these people to have important offices in the church and in the government, but they had to convert to Constantinian Christianity. And so they all went to the cities, and the country people became the pagans. And then in the cities, just like, all the blue cities like Los Angeles, New York, they dictate to all the other red, all the rest of America's red. And these two blue cities, Baltimore, who else? Denver,
Chicago, Philadelphia,
Portland,
New York, San
Portland,
Francisco,
Oregon,
LA.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Right. So all these blue demonic hubs of Bolshevism, they're controlling the pagans, the conservatives, we're progressive, we're liberal. Yes, anything goes. So that's the Constantinian and Justinian model. That is the model. And see, now me, an astrologer and a syncretist, I'm a crazy man. I'm a loony, a mystic. He does all that mysticism and astrology, demonic stuff Santos does. See, whereas this is the true and only system, and they have bought into a system which works the same way. You look at all the people that run the councils, right? How did they get there? Money, right? All the local counties, see what the counties are doing, raising water taxes, these people, and they ran a massive, campaign recently. They got a lot of money. Hospitals got a lot of money. You see how that system works? Money. Give them money, and they can run all our churches, all our institutions, hospitals, everything.
And the worst part of it is it's not even real money. It's Fed funny money that they print out of nowhere. And the fractional reserve banking is the most diabolical and brilliant way to buy everybody. what you do is you print all this fake money and you give it to people like BlackRock and Vanguard, and they go out and they put it through all these corporations that they've bought with this fake money that isn't even real to them, that they didn't earn.
Yeah.
They were just given it because they're part of the system, and they buy up everybody. They buy up all the politicians on all this stuff through this lobby and stuff like that. And everybody's bought and sold and willing to just completely live in darkness in absent of light because of the money that they're getting paid. They're all selling out, taking corporate interest and selling out. And it's like unbelievable to me that people don't see it. And now they're starting to understand it through ESG and BlackRock buying up all the houses. They realize that now they're bidding against the Federal Reserve for a family house.
Yep.
They're buying out everybody with fake money.
Yep. And all of that system, Babylonian system, slave system, is run by the Vatican, the Holy See, and the Roman Curia. And they are the three corporate masters, the ring that rules them all. The ring that rules them all is the Vatican. You'll see all the names of the families who own that corporation. In fact, right in the front, you'll see Pallavicini. Or actually, you might see... I'll tell you the names you'll see. You'll see Borghese, Borgia, and Borgia was the Pope who sent the conquistadors over here to conquer the Americas. And he was the one who said, all right, let's split the Americas in half. Brazil to the Portuguese, everything west to the Spanish. Borgia. My mother grew up in Borgia, a town called Borgia in Italy. They named towns after them. You know, there's... Yeah, Borgia. Guelph in Canada, that's from the Saxe-Coburg Guelph family. They're telling you, these are our towns, these are our corporations, our municipalities, our counties. We run these, they're actually church parishes. They're all parishes.
Yeah.
It's a parish system, and the Vatican owns it. And so when you look at the Vatican, you go around right and under the roof cornice, all around you see Pallavicini, Aldobrandini, Orsini, De Medici, Borghese, Este, Conti, Visconti. I just can't think right now. There's tens more.
You nailed about 20 more than I could nail, so you did great there. So, I mean, I couldn't get any of those names correct. And if you take a look at like how we've talked about this before on the show, but the intelligence agencies versus organized crime in the West, you have the United States, Latin America, Europe. What do all those crime families or crime organizations have in common? They're all Catholic, Irish, Italian, Latin. They're all Catholic, right?
Well, so the CIA means Catholics in Action.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And they control everything. So that's why all the drugs could get into the country, because the company that's meant to stop the drugs from getting in are profiting from the drugs getting in. We just had somebody on our show talking about Ozarks. I've been watching a little bit of that lately. And bam, there's the story right in it that the FBI wants the piece of the drug trade. I mean, it's right there in front of you, So, You know what I'm saying? It's like we talked about that today. I was on the Last Vagabonds, the Last American Vagabonds show. And, there was a great tweet out there I told him about that said supply chains are down for everything except for fentanyl, right? Somehow fentanyl is able to get in without any problem. Gee, I wonder why. So then you get into like, okay, we got the Vatican, we got Vanguard. Vanguard's one of the biggest companies in the world that's privately owned. You don't have to know who their owners are. I know who their owners are. Whoever's the boss of the Rothschilds, which is everybody you just named here. And then you get into the World Economic Forum, and everyone wants to blame China for everything. But the World Economic Forum is the one who brought on over all that social credit score and everything that they're doing over there. So they are the top of the chain, 100%. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, brother. They run what's called the New World Order. The New World Order began with Copernicus and his globe model, hence the global agenda, globalists, the global community, global governance, global economy, global lockdowns. Now we can see how the UN and the whole world is pretty much, except for countries like Tanzania and a few other African countries, saying no to this New World Order, which is based on the globe, the false idol of the globalists. And who are our enemies? We all know it's the globalists. And I wonder who Copernicus dedicated his book to, since he was a Jesuit, and the Jesuits were founded 2 years before. He dedicated his book to Pope Alessandro Farnese. Farnese is the family who I said at the beginning began the Tuscan Empire, the Roman Empire. They're Persians. Well, it's in the word. Farsi is the language of Persia. They are Farnesi, Farsi. You see? So,
Damn!
Yeah. And the Medicis come from Media. The Medes and the Persians were the enemies of Rome for hundreds of thousands of years, and Greece. The Medes and the Persians, they are the De Medicis. They run the media and the medical pharmaceutical, right? But guess who runs the United States? Which is the most powerful family? I know which one you're going to say, and it'll be wrong.
You want everyone to think Rothschild, or everybody's going to say Rothschilds, and you're saying there's somebody above them.
Oh, yeah. The other one is the Rockefellers. Everyone says, oh, it's the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Rothschilds.
Who is it?
No, it's the Collins family. Now, who are the Collins? Well, there's a fellow called Christopher Columbus, who in Spanish is called Cristobal Colón. Now, he came from one of the papal families called the Colonna family. And they were the enemies of the Orsini family, who considered themselves to be the Maxima family. The Rothschilds and the Windsors come from the Orsini family. So does Tom Cruise, by the way. He's an Orsini. So the Orsini and the Colonna were fighting in the Middle Ages to be popes, and they were killing each other. There was assassinations, blood on the street, there were coups. Anyway, one pope finally comes along in history and says, right, you've got to stop this killing and fighting amongst yourselves. And that he said, one of your family has to marry one of their family, and you have to make amends, and we have to make a papal bull, and we have to work together. And from then on, the Collins family, whom are also called the Cohens, the Jewish Cohens, the priests, the Levites, the Cohens, the Collins, the Colon, becomes Columbia, District of Columbia, the Knights of Columbus, Columbia Pictures, British Columbia, Columbia in South America, and the Collins family still runs America. Thank you, Christopher Collins, otherwise known as Christopher Columbus.
Quick question. Do those families have any hand in the CCP in China? Are they in there?
Of course. They started the communist movement in the 40s with Stalin from Wall Street. That was all organized by the Collins family. Of course, they get the Collins and the Orsini, the Maxima family. Maxima means they're on top. I believe it's between Colonna, the Collins, the Orsini, through the Rothschilds and the Windsors come from the Orsini. The Collins. The Collins family sort of they went west, and the Orsinis went east and they organized this from Venice, the Venetians, the Phoenicians, from Venice and from Geneva. They sent Columbus from Geneva to go west. And the Orsini sent their guys. They were more centered around Venice, but the Collins family were Genovese. In fact, the word jeans, denim, blue jeans, comes from Genova, because that's where denim comes from, and from the Genovese family, which primarily are the Collins. So thanks, they're in everything. They gave us jeans, they gave us all these countries and the Knights of Columbus and everything that's got to do with Columbia in the US. So they went west, you see, the Columbus Corporation. The Orsini compilation went east, and they sent their Jesuits into Japan. The Japans were beheading them. If they caught the Jesuits anywhere on their land, they would just chop their heads off on the spot. But finally, the Jesuits conquered in Nagasaki. That was their stronghold, and infiltrated. And then they started the Opium Wars against China. Then they invaded Australia, and that was the Orsini side going east. And the Farnese helped them as well, because the two families that started the Jesuits were the Farnese, the guy that Copernicus, the Globetard, dedicated his book to, the founder of the Jesuits. Beautiful stuff, isn't it? And the Borgia family. Those two families, Borgia and Farnese, with the Medicis, the Orsinis, and the Pallavicinis, as well, co-signed, and they did what's called, they started I fondi. In Italian, I fondi means the funds. So they have the gold and the funds to back all of their black ops and Tavistock, MK Ultra, Majestic 12, all of those.
Oh my God! So you're telling me that the Jesuits went in Japan, and through that's how they brought in the opium family, and the Collins, the Russells. Every one of these Ivy League schools were started by opium families that run these opium industries. Is that what I'm led to understand?
Yeah. They're all behind them. Yes, all these elite families are behind all of the crime in the world, all of the wars, all of the financial disasters, all of the climate disasters, all the political coups and assassinations, all of the famines, all of the shortages, all of the electrical grid when we've got free energy called magnetism, and it's around us, and they run everything. They even run, the Jesuits own all the abattoirs because they want people eating flesh. They want people eating death, rotting corpses, because they want corpses called persons, which means corporations. That's what they want. And how they do that is by giving us corpses to eat. Whereas there was no culture in history that was carnivore of humans. None, not even cannibal. Carnivore. There's cultures now that are cannibal. Not even those cannibals were cannibals. That was all done through witchcraft and through the control of this technology from Atlantis that the Iranians have, which is subletted to Rome, City of London, and DC.
Wow. So Iran is running the Vatican. The Vatican doesn't want them to do it anymore.
Well, they don't run it. They pull the strings. It's different. It's like the bully in the yard. That if you do something he doesn't like, he's going to come and bash you. But you can do anything else as long as you don't do that thing, right? He'll come and bash your head in, right? So he pulls the strings, but he's not running anything. You can do whatever you want as long as the bully doesn't catch you doing the thing that he doesn't like you doing. So it's like that. They've got something on Rome. They've got some power over Rome. Their demon is more powerful than Rome's demon. It is of a higher order. They've been able to summon a higher power than what Rome has. But Rome was set up by them, and they don't mind, because it's like, okay, so you've got a trademark, and you run a business, but you want outlets. So what do? You what's it called when you have
Franchise?
Franchise. You can't. Okay, it's like a franchise. They are all franchises. The counties are franchisees.
The Catholic churches are franchised. They're like, why do we need a standing army when we can just put these churches, which are little, home offices for the Vatican? And that's why when you watch any crime show, they always go and they have the crime boss goes and talks to the priest, right? And asks for any kind of advice on what to do, and hands him an envelope full of cash and all that stuff, and the perversion that comes with it. And now, sometimes you got to separate the constituents, meaning the people who are following the religion, like Catholicism. I know a lot of Catholics; they're all good people. I think they are following a false prophecy, but they do it with good intent. So I'm not God. I can't judge that. But that they're not playing the game very well, and they're following the wrong doctrines and all that stuff. But they have a good heart. They mean well, but they're pawns in the game, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, look, they all are. Everybody is where they should be. The elite are where they should be. The good people, the starving people, the people who are being tortured, the babies that are being tortured for their adrenochrome, they're all where they should be. Now, you might think, how can you say such a disgusting, fateful thing? When you understand the universe, how beautiful it is, see, those little pure children that have been snatched off the street and been tortured and raped by pedophiles and murdered and that process, the more vicious the process of death that the individual receives, the higher the bliss and the reward. The pain and suffering is forgotten. It doesn't exist once they are killed and their spirit goes back to source. That is an automatic ticket for them. They didn't even need to go through the process of raising their vibration, yoga, meditation, prayer, diet, and all the stuff, all the bullshit we're doing. So we don't understand. We should be thankful that the elite are doing what they're doing and that it's not you, because it's them that are going to suffer the consequences, not you. So let them be. Let it all be. It's a stage, it's a theater, it's a shadow of what's going on in the spiritual realms. Everyone is where they should be. Don't go crying too much about the little children.
Some deep shit, dude. That's some real deep stuff right there. That's some massive black belt stuff.
Yep.
And it's so hard. You can't just tell somebody that. It takes a spiritual journey to be on to truly understand how logical what you were saying is. Now, we are not condoning violence or anything like that. I don't think violence is the answer until it's the only answer. That's just my humble opinion, okay? But no violence until there's no other option. But you go, why is this happening to people? Yeah. Why? And a very advanced thought is this is a part of their journey. And what's going to happen to them on the other side? So what you're telling me is that they're going through this pain, suffering. Now when people go, they're in a higher, they're in a better place. This is literally what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a pearl is created with abrasion and friction, and beautiful pearl comes out. So the soldier that fights one of these wars, let's say a young 18-year-old cadet soldier signed up, conscripted to go to Iraq in 2003, and he gets his head blown off after 6 weeks of eating out of cans and hiding and getting shot at and having been wounded. And then all of a sudden one day he goes out to war, wakes up, gets all this stuff and goes out and gets his head blown off. See, this individual, he had his own destiny set by the stars. The moment you're born, the stars electromagnetically have permeated every atom of your anatomy, and set the tone for all the waves and patterns and things that will happen, repeat in your life, and the lessons that you're going to have to go through, and what you have actually chosen to go through to get that special reward. There are certain things, trials, there are certain trials that we must go through. We must, because we've made a contract to, and once we fulfill those dutifully, then we get the reward, and it's all in the reward. And we can manifest that reward much, much quicker if we are in tune with this process and the stars and how to govern your stars. You know, which planets are dominating you? Is it Mars? Are you always getting into trouble and strife and fights? Is it Jupiter? You're peaceful and happy and jovial and happy-go-lucky. Is it Venus? You're beautiful and wise and virtuous. Is it Mercury? You're an intellect, you know, you're intelligent, a communicator. Is it Saturn? You're stern and disciplined and organized and stable and correct. Is it the sun? You're vital, you're life-giving, you're radiating. Is it the moon? You're charming, you're sensitive and caring and motherly. You know, all these planets, whichever position they find themselves, whichever sign, and then whichever house they're in, determines everything about your nature and your nurture. Everything.
Everything you're saying makes so much sense to me. I want to get into a touchy subject. So over the last couple of weeks, I've had two of my friends off themselves, and I've made a decision not to go to memorials for people who kill themselves, just because I don't know, man. I just feel like we're in a weird way supporting this kind of action. And for me, my opinion, Santos, is that when you do this thing, when you commit this act, you are violating your spirit contract, your soul contract with the universe. And I don't want to support that. And even though I love these people all my heart, I have a tattoo of a friend who took his life a long time ago. And it makes me super sad he's no longer here with me. But I've had, like, in the last couple of years, like 4 of my friends do that. And I am very sorry for the sounds in the background. But what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, look, that's that way out is not the way out, because you carry that frequency before you suicided straight in through the portal of the next realm. Death is 2 words: door, ether. Death is the doorway to the ether, the magnetic, true counterspatial world where you come from. But what happens is you can't go back there now because you've suicided. You've broken the contract, and now you have to reincarnate. You are forced to come back through the moon onto the earth plane.
There we go, bro.
Yeah. So, and you come back with the same anguish. So you're born in anguish. You know how you get little children that are really troubled? They're just from birth. They're just troubled. You know, they're just a handful. They're little rats. You know, and then there's beautiful little children. Mummy, I love you, mummy. And can I help you, mummy? And they grow up all their life like that, because that's how they died. You see, when you die, and if you reincarnate back how you died, in the condition in which you died. So suicide is the lowest point. You come back at the lowest point again, and you start all over again.
Yeah, man.
Can I ask really quick? And this is just a really practical question. You mentioned earlier the places, you know, why there are so many places to go after death. What where does reincarnation fit into the kind of the order of those steps? Is that after you're done reincarnating, you go to those places, or is that an intermediate step? How does that fit?
No, reincarnation has to do with flesh. Carnal is flesh. So you have re-fleshed your spirit. Now, when you go to the counterspatial or transcendental or supernatural or metaphysical, whatever term you prefer, I always try to call it counterspace, because it's more, it's conventional minds like quantum physicists who are on the wrong track, and people who are, beginning their journey. It's not so woo-woo as metaphysical and supernatural. People get the creeps. So when you return there, you don't have to reincarnate. You don't have to reflesh again. You can re-spirit. So you can transcend. You can get sick and tired of being in this blissful realm for a billion years, and you might say, yeah, I'm going to go to this place now because I have the frequency. I've learned how to, switch over to that channel. It's like a TV set, it's solid state. So if you're watching the Channel 7 news, you can't watch the Channel 10 news. If you're on Fox, you can't see CBS at the same time unless you've got two TVs. One TV, one channel at a time. But when you turn that knob, you've actually, all you've done is just raise the frequency at which that channel is transmitting at. And so that's how you are. You're like a TV set, right? So you're on Channel 7 and you're having a great time. This is a beautiful place, pretty flowers, lovely girls, nice beaches. All right, now I'm going to go to another frequency, and you're free to go. There you don't need passports.
I have a quick question as well. You were talking about those families owning technology. Would that, in a long shot, have anything to do with the Ark of the Covenant? I've heard that that's like technology and it's hidden, and that's why they keep it hidden. Is that considered some of the technology you were talking about?
It is. It's the Ark of the Covenant. Yes.
So let me ask you something. Oh, go on. Sorry, you were going to elaborate on that.
Yeah. So they say it was Nebuchadnezzar sacked Jerusalem in 607 BCE, and then brought the Ark back to Babylon, and it's been lost ever since. But really, it's essentially, it's not literal. None of that literally happened. It's all metaphor and symbolic speak of how the whatever technology it is. It's called the arc. Because it arcs. It's all about arcing, electrical arcs. So in astrology, we deal in degrees of arc. Degrees, minutes, and seconds of arc. So Noah's Ark, the Ark of the Covenant, these are all electrical technology. And it just means that the controlling kingdom of the time transferred over to Babylon and Iran and what have you. So that's why there's always been this war with Iran, because they want to bring that controlling mechanism to Jerusalem. They're setting up the third temple there for that reason.
Damn, dude. It's crazy. So you had mentioned ether, right? What is it?
Okay, so in Spanish, it's called ether. E-T-E-R. Now, what does that word conjure up in your mind? Put a few more letters after that. Eternal, eternity. Ether, eternity. It is the fifth element. The gross elements, fire, air, water, earth, or in quantum physics conventional speak, plasma, gas, liquid, solid, the four states of physicality. The ether is where that all comes from. The ether is the nothing, which is everywhere, which is everything, but nothing at the same time. Oh, what do you mean, Santos? That sounds crazy. All right, well, let's take a simple analogy. You're looking at me on your screen, and you're looking at a physical body, but I'm not in your computer, and I'm not at all physically there at all. It's all zeros and ones, which is nothing. A one is nothing. If I say one, where is it? I can't see a one. I can see one lighter. I can see one pair of glasses, but you can never see a one. It's a number, and you can never see a zero because it's nothing. So nothing is what you're looking at on the screen. You're looking at nothing. It's zeros and ones.
It's so complex.
And where is it stored? Where is it stored? Well, it's stored in counter space. See, your hard drive, those crystals, those chips, full of zeros and ones, trillions of them, which contain all your movie archive, all your family photos, all of your, it's right. If you get a hard drive with 2 terabytes of data on it, and then you go to the shop and buy the same one brand new, which one weighs more? Same weight. So all those movies and all of those photos, they weigh nothing. And then you try and tell me, Santos, that everything comes from nothing, which is really everything, from counter space. There's only time and space, Santos. That's all that exists. We know that. What are you talking about? See, people can't grasp these things because they're not even using simple analogies like a computer, which is a perfect analog of describing physicality and how nature really works.
So interesting.
We come from counter space. Everything that exists is in counter space. When they say the Big Bang came from nothing, that's true, but only half true. The other half is the most important bit. And that is that nothing is everything. It's just nothing that you can see. It's nothing that you can touch. It's nothing that you can feel. But it is everything. So everything you see in the physical world, which is made from the hybrid energy called electricity, transverse waves, everything you see is just a Maya, the illusion. It's an illusion because it appears like this is the real thing, but it's not. The real thing is happening contemporaneously in counter space.
So complex, man. It's a real complex thing, dude. It is the nothing in which everything comes from.
I wouldn't say complex. I would say deep. It's simple. It's simple. It's very simple, but it is deep.
It is deep, man.
Profound.
It is deep, almost to a point where it's like, is it meant for all of us to truly understand? I think the notion of God, like the true understanding of what God is, such a deep, deep thing that there's almost like, I've heard this in like the Kabbalah and stuff like that, which is like anyone who tries to tell you the definition of God is like a fool almost. It's like we can have an understanding of it, but to define it might be beyond our meat suits. Like these are sumo fat suits we're put in that we're, so we can only do so much because we're the universe. And if we had all of our universal powers, we could just dominate and do whatever we want, but we're here to learn lessons. And this meat suit is to make sure we have only a select set of skills to use to get that job done, because that's what we need to understand it and to get through it. And things like that are just so deep. And maybe it's just me. It's just so hard for me to crystallize in my mind what that is. It's just
once you have direct knowledge, you have deep knowledge, and that generates clear knowledge. Tesla said there are those that can think deeply, but cannot think clearly. So he was a clear thinker. Clairvoyance is where we're headed. Through this deep knowledge, you will become clairvoyant, clear knowing, clear thinking. You see, the clairvoyant is the true mystic. The channeler, you see these channelers, they've all got the dark eye, they've all got the whiskey nose. You can tell they're drunken bums. Yeah. And they're channeling, today we're channeling Gazubilibub from the galaxy Gazingaduk.
Yeah.
And he says, you must love each other. And then they put this voice on. We need to be very good people where's this fucking voice come from, you retard, you know? That's because a channeler to me is akin to a glutton and a drunk. They're just bums. A clairvoyant is one who has done his study here and has his intuition intact and merged the two and sees clearly with the Pinocchio, the pinocchio, the pineal ocular, the pineal eye. See, these guys who talk to you all this channeling stuff, they see with the red shift, blue shift eyes. They see the duality, the polarity. They don't see the unity. Only the clairvoyant does. So if you're not getting your information from a clairvoyant and a mystic and a syncretist, don't bother. You'll never get the whole picture.
What is a synchronist? Because I want to be one.
Not synchronist. Synchronism is syncing things in time. Chronos, time, chronology. Syncretist. Who's one who syncretizes or unifies, interrelates all fields of human knowledge: alchemy, astrology, mathematics, numerology, geometria, Christianity, Judaism. All of them merge into one field because they're all interrelated. Everything is interrelated. Everything.
I totally agree, man.
There's no division. There is no division. There's no separation. Never separate Judaism from Christianity, from Hinduism, from Buddhism, from Islam. Don't go down that road. That is what Rome wants. Divide and conquer. But we are unity conscious individuals. We are clairvoyant, syncretists, mystics. MYST is different to MIST, but they're spelt the same. Mist is water with an I. MYST, mystic, that's fire. That's the baptism of fire. When you go to a Christian church, what do they baptize you with?
Holy water.
Water, M-I-S-T. That's the false baptism. Thank you, Neoplatonists. Thank you, Plato. Thank you, Hermes. Thank you, Pythagoras. That's the false baptism, because there's a higher one, which is spiritual, air, and then the highest, fire, mist, M-Y-S-T. That's why the mystic these days, he's the one who's frowned upon. That guy's talking mystical rubbish. That's mystical, Santos. Talk about, the price of fish in China now, please. What's this mystical stuff you're doing? See, if you're not a mystic, you haven't been baptized with fire, and you're not knowing truth directly. You're knowing it indirectly. Secondhand truth is the most dangerous thing you can share. If I go around saying, Yeah, my friend Sam Tripoli, he's got a red car. His car's red. Because he told me that, and I've known him for a couple of years. I trust him. He's never told me a lie. He's always faithful, and he's a good friend. I'm 100% sure his car's red because he told me. But I've never seen your car. I've never opened the garage door and checked, and then because I didn't know that you're colorblind. You never told me that. And you think it's red, but I open the door and I see that your car's blue. But I've been telling everybody that it's red. So I was telling them the truth according to Sam Tripoli, who's colorblind but always speaks the truth. And I'm an inadvertent liar repeating secondhand truth. Unless you know direct knowledge, unless you have directly studied source materials like I have all my life, then you can't get direct knowledge. And then you don't have epignosis, which the Greek call perfect knowledge, because gnosis is just knowledge, but epignosis, that's where you want to be. And you can only get that through syncretism, through syncretizing all fields of human knowledge, all fields. And so just punch in Wikipedia, punch in the word syncretism and read it there. It'll tell you what syncretism is. And by the way, I made a mistake there when I said that my academy is the first one in 1,500 years. I can't be certain about that because I don't know whether Marsilio Ficino in the Renaissance and Giovanni Pico della Mirandola or Savonarola actually had academies because they were teaching syncretism in the Renaissance. It was based on syncretism. Syncretism was the basis of the Renaissance. And Marsilio Ficino was the head of it all. He was the one who actually translated the Hermetica. Thanks to him, the syncretist, we have the Book of Hermes. And he also translated Plato. And we have Neoplatonism. That's Marsilio Ficino. But now he was a teacher, but I don't know whether he had an academy. So therefore, that would make what I said not correct. But put it this way. Officially, the last Neoplatonic schools were shut down in 527 by edict by Justinian. And he was a criminal. His wife also was involved with tampering with the Bible and removing all references to reincarnation because the elite families didn't want us to know about, that we have another chance to make amends in a new life. They wanted us to think this is the only life. When you die, that's it. So they removed the Justinians. They did this. They did 3 crimes. They shut down syncretism. They created dog Latin, the Justinian deception, and all lawyers. You can go to any lawyer and you can say, do you do Justinian law? Oh, of course, everything's based on Justinian law. All admiralty, maritime, commercial law, contract law, trust law comes from Justinian, and they removed the greatest and holiest of all truths, reincarnation, from the scriptures. They stripped it out of all the official Bibles that existed at the time.
I completely agree, man. I really honestly do agree. And because once you get rid of reincarnation and the thought that you come back here all the time, you create scarcity. And what happens with scarcity is you have only a limited amount of time. And based on that, you can manipulate people through anxiety and fear that if they don't do this, this, and this, they're going to have less of that time because they only have one. You only do this trip once. I mean, from a baby, you're told that. You only have one shot at this. You only have one life. From a baby, you're told that.
You only live once, young man. Take your chance.
And that's pounded into you. And therefore, you're scared that you're going to lose all of these precious few days you have. And so they can manipulate you through medicine and science and oh, hey man, you do this, you'll get more days of this. And you're like, well, I don't think that's true anymore. And that's why I believe, I think video games, I talked about this again today with the last American Vagabond, Chris, we were talking about how basically, man, it's like a video game. You're playing Grand Theft Auto. If you don't complete the level, you have to come back and do the level all over again until you complete the task in that level. I always say this, Pac-Man is about the moon. Super Mario is about life. Man's working a job, trying to keep everybody from betting his wife. He's really great at the job. He gets a promotion. Now he's working outside. He eats a mushroom. Now he sees all is possible. That is Super Mario. That's how it is, dude. That's how it is. So I want to end us on this because I know I can't keep you all day. Tell us about your Syncretism Society. I'm on the page and I'm thinking about signing up for the year. You got me. I'm very interested. What is this and what is like the procedure? What do I get when I sign up?
All right. First of all, I'll give you a chance to correct that. It's not synchronism. It's
syncretism. Syncretism. My apologies.
Yeah, good. Punch it in your browsers right now, guys. Syncretism. SYNC. Sync. When you sync something up, right? Sync,
right.
Syncretism. So if you join the academy, what you're getting about 25 other lecturers other than me doing lectures weekly where you can come in, join the Zoom call and interact and ask questions. And we teach astrology. We teach, yesterday I did 2-hour lecture teaching how to learn thousands of words in multiple languages instantly. Now that's exclusive to the academy. You will, in this series I'm going to do on languages, you will be able to speak thousands of words in multiple languages.
This is it, right?
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah, man.
And so you get access to sovereignty. We've got Rebecca Rodriguez in Costa Rica teaching real sovereignty. We've got Ken Wheeler, one of the teachers there. David Weiss, he's an instructor at the academy doing geocentric stationary Earth. We've got Autodidactic teaching about Tartaria. And by the way, the Khazarians destroyed the Tartarians.
Yes, dude.
Tartaria, okay. We teach how to raise the chrism there. We teach yoga, vegan cooking dishes for the vegans there. It is a vegetarian school, as Hermeticism is and Neoplatonism is. They are plant-based sciences because it's through the plant-based that you ascend to the highest frequency, period. The animal flesh will keep your frequency down. So that's not to say you can't ascend, but you won't ascend as high as you wish you would. It'll be, sideways maybe, sideways ascension. So no condemnation there, but vegetarian is the diet. We're also teaching permaculture rather than agriculture. We're teaching homeopathy rather than allopathy. Man, herbs, crystals, alchemy. You've got every field, everything is there. So, and I'm also doing a special offer. So this is a special offer to anyone who wants to. It's $50 a month subscription. I will give you a 10-minute self-salt birth chart reading, 10 minutes, and 4 of my graphics, Syncretism graphics for free. And for those who sign up yearly, I'll send you my 5 flamenco, Latin, jazz studio recorded instrumental albums, of which have sold 150,000. They are available on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube Premium, but you're going to get them for free 5 studio albums, 11 graphics, all of my graphics, and a 10-minute cell salt reading. All you have to do is subscribe, write to me at music@santos.net.au. AU is for Australia. music@santos.net.au. Tell me whether you've subscribed for a month or a year, and then I'll communicate. I'll send you all the graphics and my music, and then organize the reading, the 10-minute reading. You don't get the music with the 1-month subscription, only the yearly subscriptions, which is $4.99, $500 a year. But rest assured, guys, $500, put it into perspective. Put it into perspective. You're signing up to the Syncretism Academy official since Justinian, and you'll be in history. You'll be one of the first ones to have said, I was a member of the school that changed the world.
I'm doing it, bro. I'm going to sign up. You got me. You sold me on it.
For sure,
Santos, it was a pleasure talking to you. I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours and hours. And it's an honor and a privilege. I've done a lot of episodes, and to, be like this is probably one of the best we've ever done by far. Means a lot. And, there's a reason why you made it on to the Mount Crushmore of this show. So again, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to plug before we say goodbye?
I just want to say you did a good job on the Alex Jones show, brother. Beautiful.
Thank you, man. I love Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I think he's misunderstood.
Yeah,
and it's very funny, dude. And I'll end it on this. We've reached out to people who do like murder mysteries come on the show, and they're like, oh no, you bet Alex Jones on. I'm like, you do shows about people getting murdered. Who are you to judge anybody on anything? You make money off of people's pain and suffering. So I appreciate the kind words. All are welcome on this show. From all, the more the merrier, the more diverse, the better. I want to hear from everyone. I don't want to live in a world where I only talk to people I agree with. I think that sounds pretty awful. So, everything you talked about is my favorite stuff to talk about. A very well thought out discussion about the Black nobility, man. It was a real great conversation. I am signing up for your course right now. I'm going to try to look into doing it more, man. Just studying everything you're talking about, because it's my jam, dude. So thank you very much, Santos. I appreciate you coming on. Guys, thanks for doing this again. Hope you guys enjoy it. Want to see you in Michigan this weekend coming up, and want to see you in Ohio after the week after that. Go to samtripoli.com. Grab your tickets now. Hope you enjoyed this, because it was an all-time banger. Take care, everybody.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.